Alright, video people, we're back again with another how-to video. As you can see, this is a Ryobi full crank 2-cycle shaft. This is the one that have the multiple attachments. So today we're going to be doing two things. We're going to be pulling off the carb. The engine, for some reason, it won't stay running, so I'm going to check and see if it's getting proper fuel. I know it's getting proper spark because I basically take this off, and then I have a little cheap spark tester that you can get from any auto store, anything like that. The one I have is basically like this. You have your local spark gap right here. You basically stick this into the spark plug holder, and then you usually have a little clip, there's another piece to it, and you clip it to any type of metal. So again, to check your spark on these engines, you have your little spark plug gap tool. It's the same one that you can use for most automotive engines or anything like that. So your local auto parts store or tool store or whatever sell these, they're not too bad. I think I get this for like $6. So as again, you see that little gap there, that is where once you're checking for spark, if you have spark, you're going to see a blue flash basically when you try and crank the engine, and that tells you say you have spark. And then also you have different distances where you can check the spark. You can't really see it that good on here, but inside this groove here you have 10, 20, 30, 40. So depending on what this, okay, there we go, you can see the numbers a little bit there. So you have 10, 20, 30, 40. So depending on the manufacturer specifications, you basically spin it to whatever distance you need for the right spark gap, and that's how you test it. But for the purpose of today, as I say, the check spark, so I know I'm getting good spark. So the next thing, always three things that make an engine run: fuel, air, and spark. And crank, which basically is a manual pull crank. I'm going to be removing this and making sure that's good and tight too. So again, this is the Ryobi full crank two cycle, the end shaft that basically works with a lot of systems that they have: edgers, weed eaters, hedgers, all that kind of stuff. So today I'm going to be removing the carburetor, checking sure that's clean. Use some chatty batty cleaner or whatever kind of carb clean you can use. You don't need to buy no expensive one, just a little cheap one we do. You just need to clean and make sure all of the little passages and jets are clear. So before we get started, let me show you the tools what we're going to need for this. As I say, check spark, you need a spark plug tester or spark tester, cheap one from the store. Most of the bolts on this system, can't really see it good, camera zoom in. This is a T20 star head. Again, T20 star head, and it basically fits all of the bolts on here. So the two ears that I'm going to remove is the pull crank assembly, and let me show you where the bolts are. You have a bolt here, you have a bolt here, you have another bolt under here, and then you have another one over here. And that's how you would take off the pull start off of this system or this design. And then to pull off the carb, once you remove your air filter housing, again, your T20 star head, you have two bolts here and here, and this basically comes off, and once those two come off, your carburetor should move freely up and down for you to slide it back and forth off. So I have a local drill, so this is what I'm going to use to remove these bolts, so I could do it a little faster. So let me get that ready. Alright, you can use a screwdriver, and it also has enough space for you to fit flathead screwdriver, but for my sake I prefer to use this, quick and easy. So here we go. So just drop that in there, make sure it fit tightly in there. Alright. Okay, as you can see, now it's free to remove, and as you can see, the whole carburetor assembly removes. So again, you have two T20 bolts, and once you loosen them, the whole carburetor assembly comes loose. Alright, for the pull start, as I said before, same concept. You have your 4 bolts, one on this side, one on this side right here, one right here, and one on the other side. And that is how you basically remove your pull start and your carburetor to check. Well, this is how I'm checking for fuel, and basically if the ripcord is getting in the way or anything like that. But as I say, I had to check spark. Now I'm checking the fuel to make sure all the carb is clean and is getting proper gas when it needs to. And then that's basically it. So again, this is the Ryobi full crank 2-cycle attachment shaft with the engine. So hopefully once I clean out the carb, clean out the intake, I'm going to go ahead and take out the spark plug, and that is a 19mm socket. Go ahead and clean out those. Hopefully once I start it up, it shouldn't have that little problem where it's not continually running or continually shutting off. So if you're having this issue, as I said, first thing first, check your spark, get your spark plug tester. Second thing, if it's still acting up, make sure you're getting proper fuel. And the way you do that, or the way I'm checking that, since it's been used for a couple of uses, I would say a good 6 to 8 months of being used, you want to make sure, say, your carb is not being clogged up in any way, none of the passages or anything like that. And again, to remove your pull start is these bolts right here, and 2 on the bottom, and that comes right off. So until next time, boom.